All right, right now we're behind Centertown Mall. Uh, there's where people take the driving test back there. This mall's pretty busy. Well, anyway, I'm going to take it through the shortcut. This is the famous shortcut to go from this mall to Walmart. And a lot of people don't realize how close Walmart really is. Now, you can see some messes in here. Some real messes. I don't know if you can see that. And a lot in there. See all that garbage in there? And whenever you see garbage like that in Lancaster, you know you're going to find somebody homeless. Let's see if we can find someone homeless. Let's look around. Here we are. What? Why is there a tent over there? Oh my, we have homeless. And if you notice, there's piles of garbage. Garbage and garbage everywhere. And they complain they have nowhere to go. But there's dumpsters all over this place that they could take the garbage and dump it, but they don't. They just toss it in the bushes. And what they like to do is make up a little gift package and leave gift packages. They do that in my neighborhood. That's why I go around and clean up. Now this is Walmart right now, and you're going to say, is that a dumpster? No, that's a trailer. This whole parking lot of Walmart. I'm holding onto a tree to go down here. See, the steps here are made out of roots from a tree. I'm trying to get the sun in the camera. Okay, so this is what I see when I come food shopping. There's all the pallets from all the stuff they loaded in the store. Here's the storage facilities. The camera seemed to work better on my last video than the camera before that. If I'm watching this camera when I'm walking, it's bouncing all over the place. But the stabilization on this model seems to be pretty good. But this is what I see when I come for food at Walmart. I come in through the back way from my neighborhood. And you gotta be careful when you come around this corner, because you have you got forklifts shooting around here. And then you also have over here, there's a car place that works on cars doing tires. And they sometimes test the cars out. And you got to be careful that they're zipping around. Now this Walmart used to be 24 hours. I would come over here. If I couldn't sleep one night, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'd come out and I'd cut through that homeless area there. 2 o'clock in the morning, go in, get what I needed, go back home and go back to sleep. But since the pandemic, this Walmart's not open 24 hours anymore. But I wanted to show you something you probably don't have in your area. So you might want to fast forward this, because I'm walking over to the second side of Flory Park. And it's the side that people come to and they sit there in the car and they're waiting for a baseball game. And I see them sitting in the car, and I go up to them and I start talking. I said, you here for the baseball game? And he said, yeah. I said, you're on the wrong side of the park. There's 2 sides of the park, 2 separate properties with a trail between them. So a lot of times the person sees the sign for Flory Park off Strasburg Pike, but it's the second side. And the sign doesn't say second side. And they didn't bother to rename it so people would know which side, like north and south, or no, it's both signs are exactly the same. And you know, I noticed, like, just before I turned this camera on, there was someone back there with their son. He's going to take his driving test, and they're sitting there. I can see a look on their face. And I have them roll the window down, and I tell them that they're in the right place, that the guy is out with someone in a car. He'll be back. And I said, you see that other car? Yeah, they might be ahead of you. I said, you might want to ask them, you know, what time they have, what time you have. But that's what I sort of do. Sort of like the mayor. I walk around here. But this is my Walmart. Here comes the bus. We have a pretty good bus system here in Lancaster, and I have a bus pass. I can go anywhere I want for free because I'm a senior now. You know, when you hit 70 years old, there's a lot of things available to you, but the downside is all the phone calls you get. The guy called me the other day, right in the middle of working with this camera, to tell me I won the Publishers Clearinghouse. See, what happens is your name somehow gets on a list, and you just hang up on those people. If you talk to them at all, they'll recommend you to someone else, and then that person will call you. So you got to watch what you do when you're old. I seem to get out here yet, and most of my neighbors, they haven't gone for a walk since they were probably 40 years old. I still go out every day. I do 3 to 6 miles a day. This is my Walmart. And there used to be a place to sit out here with a canopy over it, but they started getting homeless people sleeping out here, so it's just a chair now. Everything around here is starting to change because of homeless people. They're taking trees down and bushes out. I notice a lot of people walking around with phones and they're talking to the phone. But I walk around with this action camera. I made a little pistol grip out of some PVC pipe. All right, this is what I want to show you. You come out of Walmart here. Let's make sure this car stops for me. And all of a sudden you see this railing here. And a lot of people don't know this is here. Here's a sidewalk. Here's a railing. Down below is frozen ice. That's a retainment pond. That whole thing down in there, that's a retainment pond for when it rains. The water from this parking lot goes down there, and it equalizes before it runs into the main system. Now here's a walking trail that goes from Walmart down to the park. And people say, oh, that's so people from the park can go to Walmart and go shopping. That's not what this is. I'll show you what this is. It's amazing. I live here, and the locals, they're like clueless on all this stuff. There's a ramp that goes from Walmart down to Flory Park. I know, because now they're talking about the wrong side of Flory Park. Then you tell them there's a second side of Flory Park, and they look at you like you're crazy. Okay, and that's the funny thing of getting used to people that never went past grade 12. Okay, they basically stopped their learning at 12 years old. They don't read anything new. They love gossip. Now, you see this tree we're coming up on? You know, the sun's still in the wrong place, but you see this tree that's leaning across this railing, and okay, this fell down, and nobody could get up or down on this thing. So I called the town up, and Troy came out here, and he called me back, and he says, John, he says, that's Walmart's property. So I called Walmart up, and somewhere along the line, someone cut this down. I don't know if Walmart actually got it done after I called them, but they kept telling me this wasn't their property. Okay, when I had a guy from the town, he brought the map with him, and see down here, that whole strip is going to be a walkway all along here, and that's Goat Man. See that? That guy's Goat Man. Someday I hope to get him on video. He rides around with a Jazzy, and there's one of his goats there. He rides around with a Jazzy with a trailer on the back with one of the goats in it, and he's a character, and he's one of the locals that and then there's people that don't know who Goat Man is. They've been there their whole life and they've never seen Goat Man. And one guy kept telling me, you never saw Goat Man? I said, Goat Man, his name is Menno Fisher. What? I said, his name is Menno Fisher. Well, he's Goat Man. I said, I don't care what you call him. I know his name, it's Menno Fisher. Now this house right here, I believe this one's for sale. And I knew the people in there. But this is now the backside of Flory Park. Okay? Now I'm gonna have to turn this towards the sun. It's gonna mess up. That's the way the roads go like, let's see, the sun comes up in the east and goes in the west. So a lot of the roads are from north to south. So if you're walking them, the camera is almost always in, the sun is almost always in the camera. But this is the back side of Flory Park. And this is actually the second side. And see these gates here, or this fencing here? Go up online and put in Amish homestead. And this right in here was a tourist area, okay? And the only thing left of the tourist area, let me go past where the sun will be behind it. This was actually a tourist area. There was a big farm up in here, up on that hill. And see that telephone pole right here? And that tree? That's the only thing left from the old days. And then there's a path that goes up for the tourists up there. And this little bridge over here, you can see it in the postcards. Online, Amish Homestead. And you'll see that little bridge in there. And this cement thing here had an Amish pump in it. What an Amish pump is, you have a water wheel. There was a water wheel here. And as it turns, it pumps a water pump up and down. And there's a cable. Actually, there's a paddle wheel here. And there's a cable that runs up to the house. And when you engage it, the paddle wheel makes the cable go back and forth. And then at the house, that moves a manual pump to pump water. Okay, but this is a little stream. And that goes down to Mill Creek, which is, we're getting to there, to Mill Creek, to the parking lot. And there's a poop pumping house over here. And you say, what's a poop pumping house? Okay, but first we got to tell you, the reason for that ramp or stairway is for this. All right, right here. And you're going to say, that looks like Stonehenge. And the sun is in the camera right now. But let's see if we can get where we turn it. See this section right here? Can you guess what that's for? All right. This pole right there, right ahead, that's where you tie the horses up. If you notice, there's buggy tracks here. Okay, Lancaster has Amish, right? Well, when the Amish go to Walmart, they come back here and park their buggies. And then they walk up that stairway into Walmart, okay? That's what that staircase is for. It's not for people from the park to be able to go shopping at Walmart. This thing here, this stairway, was here before this part of Flory Park was even developed. Okay, now this is Flory Park, and you can go fishing. The creek is right back there. You come down, you park your car, and you go fishing. Now, of course, the sun's in the way, but there's a house up on the hill there. And here's the walking trail from yesterday's video. This is the other end of it. And up on that hill is Dorothy Killebrew and Bob Newhouser's house. And when they pass on, it's going to go to the town. And right now there's a big pile of dirt up there. And the town stores the dirt up there for whenever they dig construction in town. And then they replace it. They store it here and then they come get it. They have a machine that sifts it out and everything during the summer. But that's what that's for. And oh, let me get a sign in here. There you go. Horse and buggy only, okay? That's what that's all about. You park your horse and buggy here, you go out there, you walk up that path, and you go up to Walmart. And that was in here before this Flory Park section was here. But it's funny when you get the history of this area. Oh, and we're in Fertility. The other side of Flory Park is in the Greenland section, and this is the Fertility section of Lancaster. Okay, see, I went and read up on my area that I live in because the people here, they don't know the numbers of the roads, they don't know the names of the streets. They'll just say stuff like, out on the highway, which highway? Over by so-and-so. And they name a store a lot of times that's not there anymore. And you got to get used to that. And then when you say something to them, oh yeah, they're gone, they're replaced by, and then they can't remember the new name. But here's the sign for Flory Park. And this should say Flory Park East or West or something like that. And it's not. So I find people sitting in that parking lot and they're waiting for the baseball game. And really they're in the wrong park. And then I explain it to them. There's a little walking trail. Some of this property is the town's. This is what they call multi-use property. And what it is you can see the sewer line caps for cleanouts, for big sewer. And that's the poop station there. And you want to know what a poop station or poop pump is? When they built all these houses here, the poop comes out of the toilet and it needs to be pumped into the system. So it's diesel powered. There's an antenna on the roof. They can control it remotely. I don't see the antenna today. Well, anyway, here's that's a big sewer line. Okay, that's what that is. That's a poop station. And over here now, we're coming up onto a bed and breakfast. It's an Airbnb. It's owned by Susie Heather Sutton. Before that, it was owned by Richard Stringer. He's a famous biologist that was into butterflies. You can look his name up. But Susie's on the fire department. She's very active on a lot of things, like I was when I was her age. I did a lot of things when I was her age, and then time slowed me down. But this is right there. That's where she lives, in this building, and then she has two more buildings and a big yard that she rents out to weddings. And then people come shopping from other states, and then they stay here at the Airbnb. This is her vehicle here. You know, some of you guys are into cars and stuff. I'm into biped motion. I have to walk. I don't see Susie, but you can see the license plates from other states here. Now they're from North Carolina. Yeah, North Carolina. I don't think you're supposed to videotape people's license plates, but this is one. Let me get past it and then shoot backwards, because the sun seems to be directly in the camera again. Okay. I'll say this house here, 1861, built by Barbara Diefenbach. Okay, and this is one of the Airbnbs. And there's a big backyard. There's a part of the waterfalls back there. It's very nice to sit back there. And then this is a second building that Susie owns. This is another Airbnb. See, when I go out on these walks, I get to meet the people. And I found that they actually treat me better than some of the people in my old neighborhood used to. People in my neighborhood finally warmed up to me, you know, because I am different than everybody else. Okay, I'll admit to that. I told you, I talk about what I'm doing rather than what I'm gonna do. And it's very different. Now here's the waterfall. Now, this waterfall there's a pond there. I don't know the name of the pond. You'll have to look it up. We're on Strasburg Pike, and she's got it posted. Susie's got it posted, so I need permission to go down there. But over here, and she's got one of her signs over here for the fire department. You can look this stuff up and then Google this, and you can actually drive here in Google. I hope you know that, right? This is Strasburg Pike. And this goes all the way into the train museum. If you walk it, and I have walked it. All right, now this here is the spillway, or the raceway, whatever you want to call it, to run the mill. There used to be a mill in this building. See that vent there? The water used to go under the road, under the bridge, into a mill, and they used to grind mill like corn in there, and I guess it would be corn and what else? Would there be wheat here? I don't know. But that's the mill raceway. And this is Jerry Weiler. Jerry, I know his name. I just have to think about it. But in other words, this is the old mill shop. And he turned the old mill into a shop. Okay, now I'm gonna, oh, this might be a perfect shot for the cow. You're gonna say, cow? Yeah, there's a cow here. And there are cows here, just up the road here. It doesn't take long for me to walk to a farm. Oh, and that was a tobacco shed, or a place they used to grow dry tobacco. Let me back up to get the sun out of the frame. And that's Jerry. His name's Jerry Landis. And Lisa Landis, the disc jockey, that's her father. Okay, there's the cow. That's the actual sign for the mill that was painted on the building. And if you look at East Lampeter's website, you'll see this building on it. It's one of the oldest buildings that manufacturing. I don't want to say it's manufacturing, but production building in the area. But this area is definitely different than your average neighborhood, you know, but it's getting built up. You know, when I first moved here, those houses right there, they weren't there. It's 15 years ago. And that neighborhood, there was one or two in there, and they were starting to break the foundations for more. And that's a pretty good, it's a pretty good spot for a yard sale. I've got some good stuff over there. But way back, wait for the cars to go by. Way back, there was a covered bridge right here. This was a covered bridge right in here. With that, you see that stone? Remember I showed you the quarry? You dig down a few feet in this area and you hit that. And that's why this whole Flory Park was a quarry. And what you're looking at is where they removed the stones. Okay, so you're saying, that's a pretty big park. Well, somebody came in and took the stones away. Took the rock away. They dynamited it or black powdered it. And this other guy used to plant corn in there. So over the years, and